Hello, good morning, Mavericks. I'm so excited to see you all, to be with you guys today. I have a wonderful book for us today, and today we are going to be reading a book that's actually part of a sequel, and this book is called Tacky the Penguin, right? Tacky is a very unique penguin, and we're going to read all about him in this humorous story by Helen Lester. So just like always, we're going to go ahead and start with the genre I want you to think about. I'm going to show you some of the illustrations. Maybe I can make this picture a little bigger here. There you go. Here's some of the picture of the illustrations. Tell me what the genre of this book is and what is the evidence to support that genre. I think you're going to love this book, so I'm super excited to read it to you today. All right, so for our learning target today, I think I've just been really focusing on a great conversation and great thinking during the book. And I just want you to think again today, what is the author's message that she wanted you to understand by writing the book, Tacky the Penguin? All right, Tacky the Penguin, written by Helen Lester and illustrated again by Lynn Munsinger. If you have time, you might want to even look up the relationship between Helen Lester and Lynn Munsinger. It sounds like they do a lot of books together, and you might be able to find some additional books that they've written and illustrated that they've teamed up on online or in Epic. There once lived a penguin. His home was a nice icy island that he shared with his companions. Look carefully at Tacky the penguin and think about where he lives. What do you notice about the ice land? This word here, right here, is companions. What do you think that word might mean? Companion. Companion means that it's someone that you spend time with. Can you think of another word that you would use for companion? His companions were named Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect. His name was Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird. Tacky. What does this word mean? Can you think of what this word means? Tacky, the word tacky actually means not well dressed, kind of messy, or not very polite. Look at the names of the other penguins. What do you think Helen Lester was trying to tell you by giving them these names? Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect, and his name, Tacky. What do you think that she wanted you to? How do they sound different to you? What did she think? What did she want you to think by making these names for these penguins? What is the other? Sandwich. Every day, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect greeted each other quietly and politely. Tacky greeted them with a hearty slap on the back and a loud, "What's happening?" Hearty. What do you think this hearty slap might sound like? Do you think it sounds like a nice little pat? Why don't you try saying "what's happening" the way that you predict Tacky says it. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always marched 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tacky always marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, 0. His companions were graceful divers. Tacky liked to do splashy cannonballs. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always sang pretty songs like Sunrise on the Iceberg. Tacky always sang songs like How many toes does a fish have? Tacky was an odd bird. What do you think that these penguins think about their friend Tacky? What do you think they might say about Tacky? Turn and tell someone sitting next to you, or a stuffy if you don't have anyone near you right now. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's also this word here, oddball. What do you think Helen Lester means? Tacky was an odd bird. What does odd bird mean? Well, oftentimes they use the word odd bird to mean that someone is very strange or acts differently from most other people. One day the penguins heard the thump, thump, thump of feet in the distance. This could only mean one thing. Hunters had come. They came with maps and traps and rocks and locks. And they were rough and tough as the thump, thump, thump drew closer. The penguins could hear the growly voices chanting, "We're gonna catch some pretty penguins, and we'll march 'em up with a switch, and we'll sell 'em for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." What's a switch? We'll march 'em up with a switch. What does that mean? If you don't know this word, what kind of word would make sense in its place? Well, a switch is actually a stick that a hunter has in his hands. What would be scary about this? Ooh. Goodly, lovely, angel, neatly and perfect, ran away in fright. They hid behind a block of ice. Tacky stood alone. The hunters marched right up to him, chanting, "We're gonna catch some pretty penguins, and we'll march 'em up with a switch, and we'll sell 'em for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." Whoa, look at Tacky. What do you think he might do? "What's happening?" blared Tacky, giving one hunter an especially hearty slap on the back. They growled, "We're hunting for penguins, that's what's happening." "Penguins," said Tacky. "Do you mean those birds that march neatly in a row?" And he marched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, 0. Look at the hunters' faces. The hunters looked puzzled. What's another word that you know for puzzled? "Do you mean those birds that dive so gracefully?" Tacky asked. And he did a splashy cannonball. The hunters looked wet. "Do you mean those birds that sing pretty songs?" Tacky began to sing, and from behind the blocks of ice came the voices of his companions, all singing as loudly and dreadfully as they could. "How many toes does a fish have, and how many wings on a cow? I wonder, yup, I wonder." The hunters could not stand the horrible singing. This could not be the land of the pretty penguins. They ran away with their hands clasped tightly over their ears, leaving behind their maps and traps and rocks and locks, and not looking at all rough and tough. Goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect, hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a very nice bird to have around. Oh, and here's all the other books in this series that we were just talking about. Another one that we're going to read together, I think Miss Gurr is reading this one, is Three Cheers for Tacky. Oh, there it is, just right there. So you're going to love that book. If you're interested in some of the others, it looks like there's Tacky Goes to Camp, Tacky's Christmas, Tacky and the Emperor, Happy Birthday Tacky. So lots of fun books for you to read with your family or with a sibling or by yourself. So as we look and we reflect back on this book that we read today, what do you think Helen Lester wanted you to know after reading this book? What did she want you to understand and think about when it comes to people being different? Turn and talk and share your thinking. All right, I hope you had a chance to think. If you're still thinking, always remember that you can go ahead and pause me so that you can finish your thoughts. But Helen Lester wanted you to know that it can be difficult to be different, but that you should always be yourself and never worry about what others have to say. If Tacky had tried to conform and just be like everybody else, he wouldn't have had such a very happy ending. So, being different takes strength, but always love what is special and unique about you. Until next time, readers, I hope that you enjoyed this book, and I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day, Mrs. Hampton.